do. Let me check some stuff. I'm not even sure if I'm live. Okay, so, oh my. I'm gonna check my Facebook page to see if I'm live. All right, Facebook says I'm live. Yay! I'm trying to go live. This is my first time going live. All right, and Instagram says I'm live. Nice. All right. I have no idea if my sound is working. This is fun. This is interesting, guys. Okay, and I've got my comments and chat on. So I'm not sure how this is going to work, guys. This is my first time going live on all three platforms at once. So today I'm going to be talking about your genealogy research goal. And I'm also going to be talking about the research goal worksheet that's in my new workbook. So I have a new book that I recently published called Tracing Our Roots, Reclaiming Our Legacy, an essential guide to African American genealogy research, heritage travel, and heritage preservation. Very long title. If you haven't been to one of my lives before, if you haven't seen my book around, it's available on Amazon. So it's available in a workbook. There's worksheets in the back, and it's also available in a PDF. So a little bit about the book. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Aisha Abdurrahman. I obtained my Sierra Leone citizenship, I believe 2021. Wow, it's been a long time. Maybe 2022. It feels like it wasn't that long ago. So I obtained my citizenship in Sierra Leone through genealogy research and African ancestry DNA testing. So if you follow me on YouTube, I have a whole series of videos about that journey. I have videos on genealogy. I have videos on DNA testing. So once again, if you have comments in the chat, let me see if I can add. And I apologize if I don't see them. I'm using new software, so I'm learning. Hopefully I can see everything. Okay, so I have been doing genealogy research for probably 20 years, a lot longer. And a lot of people were asking questions and they were asking for resources. And I myself felt that a lot of the books and the resources and the things that I was reading were not geared to our situation. So African American genealogy research, DNA testing is very different for us. The resources that are available for us are different, as well as the books that are written for us, I feel are a bit outdated. So I wanted to kind of create something that's also a workbook that is utilized, not something just for you to read. So I have information in the front of the book, and then towards the back of the book are the worksheets. The worksheets were created for you to tear these out and make copies of them if you've bought the physical book. So with the ebook, you can't complete the worksheets online. So what I'm going to be sharing with you today is actually, I'm going to share my screen. If you go to my website, aishaladon.com, I have created interactive PDFs that you can fill in. So there are same worksheets that are in the book that are in the PDF. So if you feel like I don't really need help with my genealogy research, I know what I'm doing, I just need some worksheets to help me stay organized, and I want them digital. They're on my website, aishaladon.com, for $13. Or you can buy the book, and if you're a hard book type of person, you can write in the worksheets, or you can do both. So you can buy the book, read that, and then use the worksheets, whatever works for you. But today I'm going to be talking a little bit about your research question. So oftentimes people come to me and they say, hey, Aisha, can you help me with my family tree? Or, hey, I'm trying to find this person, or I'm trying to figure out how am I connected to this person on Ancestry? They messaged me, what is this match? So, excuse me, there are specific ways to go about doing your research, but the very first thing you want to start out with is your research question. Your research question should be very general, very, very specific. I remember when I was taking a genealogy course during my, I got my degree in library and information science. So I remember one of the biggest things that she was saying, Your question's not general enough. Your question's not general enough. Like, you really have to hone down your question to something very specific. So saying, oh, I want to create my family tree, that's not general enough. Based on what I was taught. So in my mind, I was like, oh, I want to do my family tree, see as far as I can get. That's not general enough. So you may say, I want to focus on my maternal line. So your overarching goal might be to complete your family tree, but what are you currently focused on? Oh, am I focused on my maternal line for 4 generations, or I'm focused on my paternal line for 2 generations, or however far you can get. So something specific like that, or even hone it down to, yes, I want to create my family tree. I'm going to focus on my maternal line first, but right now I am working with this specific person. And that's what your research question would be, is what are the resources that I can find for grandfather number 2 on my maternal line? So it's census records. Is it birth records? Is it marriage records? So you maybe even want to focus your research question down to that. That's what I suggest you do, is focus on one person at a time. Make sure that you're getting all of their records, that you're getting all of their information, because sometimes what you will find is, especially with census records, is you'll find people that you think are your ancestors, and then you'll double check your work and realize the person that's in your census record maybe was born around the same time, had the same name, but it's actually not your ancestor because you were not honed down into your research enough. I've made this mistake several times. I've seen other family members make this mistake several times. So I used to be in the habit of, oh, this person's got it all figured out, I'm just going to add all their information to my information. And then I had to start all over and redo my family tree because their information was wrong. Maybe the information that they got from someone else was wrong. So now my information is wrong. So you want to double check your records, really focus on one person at a time, get as much information about that person as you need before you move on to the next person. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I have no idea how this is going to look on Instagram with it being super, super small. But hey, it's a learning experience. So this is the interactive PDF. So if you get the worksheets from my website, it's 26 pages. So it kind of just gives an introduction of who I am, a little bit about the book, and then just dives directly into the worksheets, because the purpose of this specific one is just the worksheets alone. So today, the research goal worksheet, as I said, is your goal statement is going to be very, very direct. State your overarching research goal here. To trace, maybe your goal is to trace my paternal grandfather's lineage back to his specific homeland. So it really just depends on what your research goal is. So one of the cool things, and one of the reasons why I created these worksheets, is they are created to be typed in. So I write very, very big. And so I wanted to make sure that my worksheets were expandable and that they were digital, because I do type big. And so what you will find is that you can type in these worksheets. You can also write in them. So if you have, let me switch to my screen. So if you have an Apple Pencil on your tablet, you can also just write in them digitally with your pencil. I am not in the Kindle software because the Kindle software, I am actually just have this file open on my tablet. So it seems to me, after testing this a few times, if you're doing this in Kindle, let's see if I can do this picture here. All right, there we go. Make me smaller, move me off to the side. Okay, so if you are trying to write in here and you're using Kindle, it's not going to work. But so I've created it so you can actually write in the worksheet and you don't have to stay in the box. Like I said, I write really, really big. So I wanted to make sure that there was flexibility with the worksheets, that you could take notes however you like, that you can type in here. And these boxes are also adjustable. So each box, let's see. I just opened up every file that is on my screen. Welcome to going live, y'all. All right. let's get back to the worksheet. Okay, so I lost my train of thought now. So yeah, so I created the boxes so that they are expandable. So they look small, but each box can be expanded to include the next line, the next line, the next line. All right, let's get rid of my face. Okay, so like I said, is you want to make your goal statement very specific. And this is your overarching goal. So like I was saying, is trying to get like, oh, I want to create my family tree. So if I say, oh, my overarching goal is my maternal family tree. Okay. And then what is my research question? So specifically, if I'm working on my family tree, I can say, so for me specifically right now is I want to know how, or not how, where was Rachel Daggs before arriving in, sorry, I'm typing on my tablet, so it's super slow, in New Orleans in 1838. So this tells me I just want to focus on Rachel Daggs. I want to focus on where she was before arriving in New Orleans and a specific date of 1838. So right now, this has been my focus right now is I am planning my, I've been working a lot with my paternal grandfather, no, my maternal grandfather, I guess you could say, yeah, my mom's dad's line. So my maternal grandfather's, yeah, I'm saying that right, my maternal grandfather's line, which is the Daggs family that is in New Orleans. So I have a trip planned in October. I'm going to New Orleans. I'm going to be there for probably a week or so doing the research that I can't do online. One of the research goals that I have is I'm trying to figure out where was Rachel before she arrived in New Orleans. So I have census records that tell me Rachel arrived in New Orleans in 1838. She arrived with her children from, I wanted to say Virginia, I believe it was at the time. So at the time, Washington, D.C. and Virginia, I believe, were separate already. So I know I need to look in Virginia. I know I need to look in Washington, D.C. So I'm going to go there first. I'll be in D.C. probably in August, get as much information as I need. I'll go to New Orleans in October. But my my research question that I'm focused on specifically for this trip is Rachel Daggs. That way, when I go, I'm really focused on my research. I'm not looking here. I'm not looking there. I'm not looking at all these extra records that might potentially confuse me. My focus is on Rachel Daggs right now. And so that is my very specific research question that is connected to completing my family tree for that side. So I believe for that side of my family tree goes down pretty deep, except I'm stuck at Rachel Daggs. So that is the brick wall is what we call it. I can't get past Rachel Daggs because I'm unsure. I have to probably do some more genealogy research about who her parents were. Okay. And so the next is your scope. So you want to identify specific individuals. So here I could write Rachel Daggs. I could write the 1838. I could write New Orleans. I could write DC. So this is where you would put that information here. I guess I could have just put where did Rachel Daggs arrive? I guess I could put for my research question. But here that's pretty much similar is your scope. So in your existing knowledge, I could put, oh, I know that Rachel Daggs is on the census records, and I have what's it called? Like the slave record or the maritime record of the ship that she was on. So I know specifically that she was on the Tribune. I have all that information. So here I could put the existing knowledge that I have. And this kind of connects with another worksheet that I have, which is called your research log, where it keeps track of what research you've done already. That way you aren't doubling your work and doing the work twice. And then there's also the gap of analysis is what don't I know and what information am I looking for? Then there's also, if you want to go this deep into it, is your research task. So for me, that's going to New Orleans, going to DC. I can put specifically where I need to look for information. That could be the National Archives, that could be the Library of Congress, that could be Historical Association, that could be maybe the Donaldsonville Library to see what they have. So that's where the Ascension Parish is. Then there's also the timeline. So I may say, oh, I've got 1 week in DC and I've got 1 week in New Orleans. And then again, what records am I searching? Where am I searching for them? Is it at a library? Is it at an archive? And then finally, I have this worksheet here where you can list the tools that you need, or, and then again, this worksheet is created to help you prepare to do your research. So you're going to complete this before you even get started. The purpose is that it's going to help you to stay organized before you even get started. One of the things that I did when I was first starting out as a genealogist is I had no tracking system, nowhere that I was keeping track of what I was researching. I was just searching to see what I could find, and that's fine. But what you're going to find is you're going to duplicate your work, and you're going to find yourself saving the same thing multiple times, having stuff in different places. So that was the other reason why I created these worksheets, is I use these worksheets in, I guess you could say, collaboration with a digital system that I have. So I have a database that I've customized where I keep track of everything, and my worksheets are used more so as a planning tool, where my database is used more as an archival tool to save everything. So I could put, that's called Airtable. So I use Airtable. You can use Excel's. You can use whatever works for you. You can use OneNote. So I kind of use, I guess, my own system. So you could put here in the tool section that, oh, I'm going to use Airtable, or I'm saving everything using Ancestry.com's. It's kind of almost like a Facebook for researchers, I guess you could say, family, friends. So you can use that. I don't suggest it. I use Ancestry kind of as like my rough draft, like the initial stages of my research, but it's nothing final at all. And then there's also progress tracking. How are you going to track your progress? So you can do a research log, you can use a checklist, you can use a progress tracker. I've also created that. So in the back of the workbook, you will find another worksheet called what is it called? I think it's just called your source. So there's your source citation worksheet where you're basically keeping track of where you're finding everything. And then there's the research log, which is basically what you found. So the source citation is where you found it, and the resource log is what you found and where you found it. So it's a little bit more in depth. And then at the end, you can kind of add additional notes, or you can review what was your approach, what do you want to do different, and things like that. So I don't have a live schedule yet, guys, because as you can see, I'm still learning, trying to figure out the live stream. Is it actually working? Stuff like that. So I will be back on another live. I don't know when. At this moment, I don't have a set schedule. I think that just doing these worksheets and coming on live is kind of like my test to going live more often, going live more regularly. I'm just kind of using the worksheets as a practice. But I will be back probably with another live later this week. Let's say Thursday. I have to check my calendar, but the next worksheet that I do is going to be the biographical worksheet, and kind of reviewing it. And it looks like I've done that already, but it's not saved on my YouTube channel. So I want to make sure that these videos are saved so that people have them as a resource when they're working on the book. So that is it, guys. If you have any comments or questions, head over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Aisha Ladon, and I will be happy to answer any questions that you might have about the book or about the worksheets. Or if you want to set up a one-on-one consultation with me, let me know if you are stuck on anything and you need help. I do offer that. You can go to my website, aishaladon.com, aishaladon.com, and fill out the contact sheet to schedule your one-on-one with me. All right, life is good. Have a blessed day.